From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday is set to lead several activities in the province of Misamis Oriental, located in northern Mindanao, south of the Philippine archipelago. The President is scheduled to grace the inauguration of the Balingoan Port Expansion Project in the town of Baok-Baok, Municipality of Balingoan. According to the Philippine Ports Authority or PPA, the project costs a little over 418 million pesos. This includes the upgrading of an existing backup area, construction of a new 10,832 square meter backup area, construction of a roll-on roll-off or RoRo ramp with an area of 355.73 square meters, and construction of a two-story port operations building covering an area of 3,082.5 square meters, among others. The Chief Executive is then expected to attend the launching and turnover of Sunrise Integrated Coconut Processing Facility and awarding of 3 Scale-Up Philippine Rural Development Project or PRDP at the First Community Cooperative or FICO Integrated Coconut Processing Plant in the town of San Isidro, Municipality of Balingasag. President Marcos will then visit and talk to the troops of the 4th Infantry Division at Camp Brigadier General Edilberto Evangelista in the city of Cagayan de Oro before attending a meeting with economic managers. And by the end of the day, President Marcos Jr. will lead the release of 93 patient transport vehicles to northern Mindanao provinces at the Pilaes Sports Complex in the city of Cagayan de Oro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the nation in mourning the death of Pope Francis on Monday, delivering a deeply personal tribute to the late pontiff, whom he described as the best pope in his lifetime. His remark came just hours after the Vatican confirmed that the 88-year-old pontiff has died. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Argentina, led the Catholic Church for 12 years and was widely admired for his humility, progressive views, and deep concern for the poor and marginalized. In a statement posted in his social media accounts, the President said, "The Philippines joins the global Catholic community in mourning the loss of a spiritual leader who led not only with wisdom, but with a heart open to all, especially the poor and the forgotten." President Marcos added that by example, Pope Francis taught us that to be a good Christian is to extend kindness and care to one another. Pope Francis visited the Philippines, the largest Catholic nation in Asia, in 2015. During his visit, the Holy Father celebrated Mass at the Manila Cathedral and the Pontifical and Royal University of Santo Tomas. The Pontiff also held an emotional outdoor Mass in Tacloban City, which was heavily devastated by Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. He was elected Supreme Pontiff on March 13, 2013, becoming the first Pope from the Americas and the first Jesuit to hold the position. Before his passing, Pope Francis appeared before the crowd at St. Peter's Square with the message of Happy Easter. Church bells are expected to toll in cities across the country, with Catholic leaders preparing special masses and vigils.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos on Monday evening paid their last respects to national artist for film and broadcast arts Nora Honor, known as Nora Cabaltera Villamayor in real life, as they visited the wake of the late superstar at the Heritage Park in Taguig City. The family of the 71-year-old national artist announced her passing last Wednesday evening, April 16th. In an earlier statement, the president said that throughout her splendid career that spanned more than 50 years, she was our consummate actress, singer, and film producer. The president acknowledged Honor's scintillating career that saw her starring in highly acclaimed movies and garnering various acting awards both here and abroad. President Marcos said at the young age of 23, she began producing films that will forever be part of the national heritage, such as Banawe, Bona, and Tatlong Taong Walang Diyos. The chief executive urged the public to pray for the eternal repose of the soul of the country's national artist. Known as the superstar of Philippine cinema, Honor starred in 170 films and was a recipient of various awards and citations from local and international organizations. She was elevated to the FAMAS Hall of Fame in 1992 and received the Film Academy of the Philippines or FAP Lifetime Achievement Award the following year. In 2022, she was named National Artist for Film and Broadcast Arts under Proclamation No. 1390 signed by former President Rodrigo Duterte. President Marcos Jr. offered his heartfelt condolences to Nora Honor's loved ones and the entire film industry and calls for his countrymen's prayers for the eternal repose of the soul of the beloved national artist.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Malacañang commended the establishment of two specialized committees under the Philippine National Police or PNP to battle kidnapping and fake news within the country. On Monday, PNP Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil announced the formation of the Joint Anti-Kidnapping Action Committee or JACAC and the Joint Anti-Fake News Action Committee or JAFNAC. JACAC will be focusing on identifying, investigating, and neutralizing organized kidnap-for-hire operations in the country, while JAFNAC will address the growing menace of misinformation and disinformation. Presidential Communications Office or PCO Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro commended this action, acknowledging this as a great step in addressing pressing concerns within the country, especially fake news. Castro also called out all media platforms to unite and eradicate fake news within the country. This is in line with the continuous spread of disinformation on social media, especially on the alleged kidnapping spree within the nation. According to Castro, fake news highly affects the credibility of news agencies. This was raised after claims that the arrested suspects on Filipino-Chinese businessman Anson Kes kidnapping and murder case are merely fall guys.
Napakaganda po niyang gagawin dahil kanina lamang po ay nagkaroon po tayo ng pagmi-meeting kasama po ang CDICT Secretary Aguda, kasama po ang Pangulo at pinag-uusapan po kung paano talaga pong mapapahinto itong fake news. Kamakailan lamang po ay nalaman din natin itong good news natin na nahuli na nga po ng PNP anti-kidnapping group ang 3 suspect dito sa nasangkot sa kaso ni Mr. K. Pero meron pa rin mga fake news peddlers na nagsasabi na ang mga nahuli daw ay mga fall guys lamang. Ito ay hindi maganda na mula sa mga fake news peddlers o sa ibang mga tao na nagsasabi na ang ibinabalita mismo ng gobyerno at ng mainstream media ay fake. Kaya lahat po tayo, hindi lamang po ang pamahalaan, hindi lamang ang administrasyon, pati po kayo lahat sa mainstream media at mga responsible social media content creator. Magtulong-tulong po tayo na sugpuin ang fake news na ito. Dahil sabi nga natin, kapag ang fake news ay lumaganap, mismo sarili nating pagdidesisyon ay maaari na tayong magkamali dahil ito ay impluwensya lamang ng fake news.
Meanwhile, when asked about the palace's reaction on the call for President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to tap the Intelligence Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or ISAFP, to address the kidnapping and murder case of Ke, Undersecretary Castro reiterated the statement of Chief Marbil that the situation is already under control. According to the palace press officer, there is no need for the assistance of the Philippine intelligence regarding the matter as of now, and the police will entrust the case to the PNP. 3 suspects for the kidnap and murder of Ke and his driver were arrested last Saturday and are currently facing charges on 2 counts of kidnapping with homicide.
Sa ngayon po, lumalabas naman at ayon ito sa sinabi rin ni Chief Marbil. Muli babanggitin ko ang kanyang sinabi. These are isolated, calculated acts rooted in personal and financial vendettas. The situation is firmly under control. Our law enforcement strategies are effective. Criminal networks are being taken down. So, tingnan na lang po natin kung ano po ang magiging action muli at magiging estratehiya po ng PNP kung kinakailangan pa po talaga nilang gamitin ang military intelligence.
But as far as you're concerned, there is no need at this point to tap military intelligence.
Opo, dahil hindi naman po, wala pong widespread na pinapakalat din ng iba na may widespread kidnapping spree in the country. Hindi po yan totoo. Malaki pong fake news siya.
That was Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Monday, Malacañang remains unbothered amidst the decline of approval and trust ratings of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The latest Pulsacious survey revealed that there is a 17% point drop in the president's performance, from 42% in February to 25% in March, and a 21-point increase in his disapproval rating that is now at 53%. During a press briefing, Presidential Communications Office, or PCO Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro highlighted that the respondents of the survey, which is a total of 2,400 Filipinos, do not represent the perspectives of the more than 100 million Filipinos nationwide. However, Castro assured that the results will not be neglected and the government will study the reason for this accordingly. Undersecretary Castro also claimed that the dip result of the survey is due to the rapid spread of fake news that are often hindering the distribution of good news. Additionally, the Palace Press Officer stated that the President will not be bothered by such survey and he will continue to serve righteously for the benefit of the nation.
Nalaman po natin na ang respondents dito ay 2,400. So sa 2,400, hindi naman po ito nagre-reflect ng sentimiento ng kabuuang more than 100 million people or Filipinos in the country. But dahil nga nakita at nabanggit natin itong mga fake news, sumasalamin din po ito sa impluensya ng mga fake news na nagkakalat. Katulad na sinabi, meron ng findings na nabanggit ang Reuters at ito ay galing sa isang Israel-based data intelligence firm or disinformation security firm. And I quote, "The level of coordinated disinformation seen in the Philippines was far above the typical 7% to 10% range of online conversations globally about highly sensitive or polarizing issues." End quote. So, kung ang mga tao man na ito ay nagbigay ng kanilang mga opinyon, maharahil ay bunga ito ng mga fake news. At kung ito man ay totoong nagkaroon ng pagsagot, hindi na naman po pabayaan ng gobyerno dahil dapat natin malaman ang mga respondents, saan ang mga respondents, ang mga respondents ba ito ay nakakatanggap ng totoong news o naiimpluwensyahan ng fake news. So ang mga respondents ba na ito ay hindi nakakarating ang tulong ng gobyerno? So dapat din po nating malaman ito sa parte ng administrasyon. At kung ano man po ang nagiging desisyon ng Pangulo at ng administrasyon, at ito'y magre-reflect sa isang survey na naisin pa rin po at ipapatupad pa rin po ng Pangulo kung ano ang nasa batas, kung ano ang tama, at hindi kung ano po ang sasabihin sa isang survey.
That was Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
Still on Monday, Malacañang shared updates on the negotiation of the government with the United States Trade Representative or USTR with regards to the zero tariff proposal with the allied country. Last April 10th, Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go, stated that he will personally fly to the U.S. to negotiate with the USTR with regards to the 17% additional tariff imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. During a press briefing, Presidential Communications Office or PCO Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro shared that the team of Secretary Go is planning to travel to the U.S. on the first week of May. According to Castro, the team is currently conducting meetings to prepare for the presentation during the dialogue. The palace remains hopeful that the result of the meeting would be favorable to the country.
Nagkausap po kami kaninang umaga at sinabi po niya na ang kanilang plano na pagpunta po sa US ay first week of May. At sa kasalukuyan po ay nagkakaroon pa rin po ng meeting ang economic team para po ito malamang na ilalahad nila sa kanilang pagpupulong sa darating na Mayo.
Are we hopeful, Yusek, na magiging maganda yung resulta ng gagawing pagbiyahe ni Secretary Go?
We should always be hopeful. Dahil ang mundo natin at ang bansa natin ay hindi kulay itim.
That was Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has relaxed long-standing travel restrictions for Philippine government officials to Taiwan, aiming to maximize opportunities for the development and expansion of the country's priority areas of investments. The President signed Memorandum Circular, or MC-82, on April 15th, reducing the travel limitations that were first imposed under Executive Order or EO number 313 in 1989 during the administration of former President Corazon Aquino. A copy of the memorandum was made public on Monday. EO number 313 had prohibited all Philippine government officials from undertaking official visits to Taiwan, receiving Taiwanese officials, or conducting any official activity related to Taiwan without clearance from the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA. Under the new policy, MC 82 limits travel restrictions to the President, Vice President, Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and Secretary of National Defense. Government officials intending to visit Taiwan for economic, trade, and investment purposes are mandated to use their ordinary passports and without using their official titles. Additionally, officials are required to inform and coordinate with the Manila Economic and Cultural Office, or MECO, the Philippines' de facto embassy in Taiwan, before their trip. The policy also enables Philippine officials to host Taiwanese delegations for economic talks, provided MECO is notified at least 5 days in advance. However, the circular maintains that no official agreements, memoranda of understanding, or similar documents can be signed with Taiwanese entities without prior approval from the DFA and, when necessary, the Office of the President.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.